So hi everybody, my name is Jeanette McLeod and I'm a Platinum Leader with Young Living Essential Oils. This is The Juice with Jeanette, and this is where we talk about some practical tools and tips that you can use and apply to your Young Living business. So tonight I want to talk to you about something that is very real in our business. We subscribe a lot to the book GoPro by Eric Worre. And I've done a lot of reflecting on this topic. So this topic is more about mindset and ownership than it is about anything else. So we always have great tips and tools, but really at the end of the day, if our mindset isn't right, then we're not going to win any game. So what I wanted to talk to you about was the interesting relationship between an upline and yourself and a downline. So we all have very different roles in this business, and I've reflected so much about this that I just want to let you know that I realize none of us signed up for this. None of us, I hope you know what I mean when I say that. None of us really signed up for this. We signed up for sharing. We signed up for changing people's immediate discomfort. We signed up for helping other people, be relieved of some symptoms that made them uncomfortable. We didn't sign up for drama. We didn't sign up for leadership. We didn't sign up for event planning. We didn't sign up for that kind of stuff. So how important do you think it is to have grace? And how important is it for you to ask for, expect, hope for grace from your downline? Because I went to college to be a teacher. That's what I did. That's what I signed up for. Some people signed up for payroll. Some people signed up for marketing. Some people signed up for being a librarian. People signed up for totally different things. But when they signed up for Young Living, they didn't sign up for leadership. So guess what? We're all learning. No, this isn't because of one in particular incident or anything. I've been mulling this topic over for about a month. So don't let your brains go crazy about what happened. Did something happen? Did I say something? Because nobody did anything. It just has really got me thinking. And you know why? Really, when we start picking somebody apart, I'll get real about it. When we start picking somebody apart, it's often because that's our point of discomfort in ourselves. And we can start stopping, I guess, right away and reflecting within ourselves, like, why would we be judgmental? And it really comes back to the same idea that comparison is the thief of joy. So although you might not be comparing yourself with your upline or your downline, cross-line, that's an easy one to compare to. What are they doing that I'm not doing? Why did they rank up? And, why are they growing so fast? But you don't know their backstage. You only see their on stage, right? So it's really keeping our emotions in check that way. And the relationship between the upline and the downline is one that's a very fine dance. Often, I'm sure you've noticed, we become friends. We become friends throughout this process. And it gets harder the closer that you get too, because there's a higher expectation, a different expectation. People were leaders, aren't leaders now, being taught by people below them and that kind of thing. So it's a very jumbled relationship. And I just encourage you, as your organization grows, as your people that you're mentoring grow, that definitely just try your best to reflect within yourself, to be humble and gracious. Because at the end of the day, I can't say it often enough, we didn't sign up for this. We're not perfect. We're not perfect human beings. That's for darn sure. So it's just the idea that we've got this line. And on one side of the line, we have said goodbye to our upline. We're in charge. This is our business. This is what we're doing. And on the other side of the line, it's being coachable, listening to them, having mentorship, and staying in line and all of those concepts too. So I pulled out GoPro. I hope this doesn't sound too disjointed, and I hope I'm getting across what I'm meaning. But in GoPro, on page 29, the saying goodbye to your upline. This is what he really says. I want to thank you for this opportunity. So Chelsea, thank you. I want to thank you for this opportunity, and what an opportunity it is, right? I appreciate it. Getting into business for myself was important, and I appreciate you introducing me to a company that you believe in and that I now believe in as well. But from now on, Chelsea, when it comes to building my business, I will use you as a resource, but never as an excuse. And you know, it isn't just as an excuse, but also as a petty, catty, nitpicking area, because we get into that so easily with people. Not necessarily uplines either, but with people in this business, we get nitpicky. I will use you as a resource, but never as an excuse. I may call on you from time to time. If you're available, that's great. If you're dealing with 4 kids and a crazy lifestyle and homeschooling and swimming lessons and all the rest of it, that's okay too. I'm going to build my business, and I understand one thing: it begins and ends with me. When it begins and ends with me, it also begins and ends with my attitude and with the grace that I'm willing to put out there for other people. So definitely comparison is the thief of joy, and it's having that line where I want to listen to my leader, I want to do what they say, but also to eating the fish and spitting out the bones. You can look at a leader, any one of your leaders, you can look at them and say, that's not comfortable for me. I don't want to do that. And let me remind you, that's okay. You can be coachable and still say no. That's a big deal. You can still be coachable and say no, because how Chelsea says something is very much not how Jeanette says something. And that's totally okay. But she can be my sounding board and bounce ideas off, and I can talk things out and come up with the answer being no, but that is okay. So I really want you guys to be encouraged that you don't have to look the same. This isn't a cookie cutter, but it is important to stay positive. And of course, we've talked about this before. Adam has talked about this a lot, that you can always complain to your upline. Call me, call whoever is your sponsor or enroller, and totally give them an earful. Go for it. I've done it a billion times. Feels great. But please, under no circumstance, call your downline and give them an earful about how bad customer service is or how long things have been out of stock for. Definitely, I encourage you to use the feel, felt, found technique if they're complaining up, but definitely try to refrain from going down. So we've had the beauty school was just recent, and it was a really great event. It was wonderful to see everybody who came. And just, I want to briefly, before I let you go, blurb events and how important they are, because this is also getting in touch with people and the relationships, being face-to-face with people, being one-to-one, seeing who they really are, how tall they really are, how funny they really are, whatever that looks like. But when you actually get together, then it adds a whole other dynamic. And to me, it's a wonderful dynamic, because then you really get to know, the team that you've got or the people you see on Facebook all the time. So Beauty School was an amazing event. They are probably, it's a 90% for sure, going to have it next year. So definitely keep that in mind. I'm assuming it'll be about the same time of year, so consider April. I'm not sure about location or any details like that, but I strongly encourage you that if not for the killer bag that we get, come for the relationships, because the relationships is really what matters. At the end of the day, like Kirsten and I'm saying at the end of the day a lot, and that's very Chelsea. I've been talking to her far too much, because at the end of the day, I've hashtagged that officially. Anyways, totally lost my train of thought on that because I thought of her. I'm just saying that events are good. Where was I going with this? Yvonne, fill me in. Yeah, so next year, Beauty School will be amazing, and come for the relationships that you can get to know people, because that is really, that's what I was going to say. When you have the relationships, I've talked to Kirsten about this a lot, that there can be comparison, there can be catty, there can be petty, there can be all those kinds of things, there can be complaining, And that's okay. That happens from time to time. We all have to get it out of our system. But we're friends first. It's relationship. And I've noticed that when I'm recruiting my friends, when I'm recruiting family, that's my motto. We're friends first. And I've really accepted that as the motto within my organization also. If they're my cross line, we're friends first. We're friends before business. And we just have to get into that set mind that when we're looking at our upline or our downline, nobody's out to get us. Nobody's looking at us in a terrible context. And we're all just really doing the very best we can. And that's the one thing I love about this group in particular. I think, and I am biased, we are a strong tribe of people who have a tendency to raise each other up. We don't rip each other down. And I have to say that I'm really proud of everybody on this call and everybody on our team for that, that it's not a tendency. And that's why I don't probably will ever talk about this subject again. It just reminded me, and it was mulling over in my brain, that we just need to have grace and keep grace with other people, because it's easy to get down. And really, if we put out those bad feelings, we're going to bring them into our lives, and that's nothing that we want to do. So I think that we are friends first. All of us here, we can reach out to each one of us as great support system. And I really encourage you, before I end, I'm going to plug convention really quick, but if you don't have a cross-line support or a running buddy, and even if you don't want one, that's fine. But if you even have a question, please feel free to reach out to anybody on our team. I really cannot see anybody being upset by that. So if Claudia says something and Melissa's like, hey, Claudia said something really funny, really good, I think I might connect with her, fire her off a message. Hey, I'm about to do a trade show. Do you have any tips? Don't be afraid to reach out like that. It's a totally safe atmosphere. We're totally cross lines. Claudia's in Yvonne's team. Melissa's in Nicole's team. Totally separate legs. But don't be afraid to make those connections. I have lots of connections, and that's how it begins, is just being friends first. So I'm just going to end that. I'm going to stop the recording. If you have any questions, concerns, or want to add to this at all, please stay on. I just think you guys are amazing. I think you're awesome. And I am so, so fortunate and grateful to have you on this call with me tonight and walking this journey. So thank you, and have a good